And welcome back to Show and Tell. I'm Billie. It is a nice warm Saturday in Manhattan, and I could think of nothing better to do than to sit and chat with my knitting friends over the internet. So today I'm going to share with you two works in progress. I have no finished objects. I have no acquisitions. You're used to hearing those things. But in terms of my works in progress, I have started the knit along for the 1935 holiday jumper. The link is down in the show notes. You can still jump in and join us. We just met for a little while today, but there's plenty of time to get on board with us. It's knitting up kind of quickly, even though it's a fine weight yarn. Because there's a lot of ribbing, it's knit on a slightly larger needle than you would expect to use for something that's meant to be fingering weight. This yarn isn't fingering weight, but it behaves like fingering weight, I think. I really didn't talk a lot about the texture of the yarn. It's C-cell that I'm using. It's called Arctic Pearl by Pasquale. I think they're a German company, but it's 100% lyocell, which is C-cell. It's a seaweed product made in Italy. It's very, very silky, slippery, silkier than silk, actually. And because of its slickness, I've been using not my ChiaoGoos, but wooden needles. And actually, these wooden needles, which I bought at Rhinebeck a few years ago actually, for a specific lace project that I was working on, which was on cobweb weight yarn. It was so hard on my hands to use any other needles. I bought these ergonomic ones. I don't know if you can see, but they're not cylindrical. They're hexagon shape. So it's easier to grip them. Anyway, it also grips the yarn better. So since this is so slick, I have one of these in here and wooden needles in the other part. I'm jumping around a lot. I'm so excited about this sweater because it's really, it's a very interesting knit. Two tones is always fascinating and beautiful for me. 9 tones is even better. But anyway, this is part of the collar. I'm not done. The collar is knit in stockinette with the contrasting color in ribbing. And the construction is interesting because you're decreasing on one side for part of it and then decreasing on the other side for part of it. You really have to pay attention, but it is stockinette, which is a relief after all this ribbing, and more ribbing. So this is the sleeve. I put it on a stitch holder because I'm not sure the height of the sleeve cap that I'm going to need. I can't really go exactly by the pattern because the pattern is written for a 32-inch bust only, and that's not my size. So I am having to modify the sleeve, the width of the sleeve to fit around my arm, which is not slender. I also had to increase. And I mentioned last time, it's the first time I've seen German short rows in a vintage pattern. These are the places where I turned. I marked each turn so I could keep track of them. But here you can see the motif. It's really lovely. A whole lot of ribbing. If you don't like ribbing, this may not be the sweater for you. But if you don't like it and you want to get good at doing it, then you get a lot of experience here. So typically I would be knitting 2 sleeves at a time, but I'm not sure about the fit of this, so I wanted to do one, and when I get the front and back done, I'll try and fit the sleeve in. See if it's a good fit, I'll knit a second one. If not, I'll rip this one out and knit two at the same time that are a different size. Anyway, there is quite a lot of give, not just because of the yarn itself, but because of that ribbing. So I think it will fit around my arm. So that's sleeve one. That's part of the collar. The collar is two colors. This side is white, the other side will be blue with white trim. And I've made this much progress on, I don't know yet if this is the front or the back. It depends. It depends on how wide it is when I'm all done. Anyway, I think it's quite a bit of progress I've made. I'm happy knitting on it. It's very easy to transport. It's lightweight, and I don't need a chart. I don't really need to refer to the instructions. It's just kind of, once you get this motif down pat, you can just run with it. So that's project number one. Project number two, last time I showed you that I was re-knitting the front panels. I made a lot more progress on them. You might remember me saying that I wanted to, well, this is the wrong side, that's the right side. I'll explain in a minute why I have both of them going on here. But last time I had expressed to you that I wanted to knit this one up to the same level where I had knit this one so that I could work on them in tandem. So now I'm at that point, and I'm at the part of the sweater that calls for seed stitch. So yeah, the reason why I have one facing backwards is that, how can I explain this? Everything that I'm doing on this side, I'm going to do again on, oh boy, my microphone. Wait a second. Everything that I'm doing on this side, I'm going to replicate on this side. So I'm starting to scoop out for the neckline. Those are the first stitches I come to on this piece, and then because I have it in reverse, they're also the first stitches that I come to on this piece. That makes it easy for me. Also because the way the patterning was done, if I was on the right side of this for, let's call this row 100, whatever, then row 100 on this ended up on the right side. So it just made it match up better if I did them working on the wrong side and then on the right side. This is my arm side, so I'm almost up to where I need to be. And the last time I did this front before I ripped it out, I wasn't really happy with the curve of the neckline. So I was trying to adjust that. If it's not right once again, it's easy enough to rip this little bit back and redo it. But so far, I'm kind of in this zone. There is a button band. I've knit part of it. A while ago, I knit part of the button band. Both my sleeves are knit. This one's basted together so I could try it on. And this is my other sleeve that's currently loosely attached to the back of the sweater. So at the back of the sweater, I'm also at the level where I'm doing seed stitch. I need to bring this up to the same height as the fronts. And then I'll be able to put it together and try it on. See, I do have to knit a bit more to catch up to the fronts. Ooh, shouldn't do that. So if I put that where my underarm is, and that's where the shoulder needs to come up to, I still have to knit this much more of the back. But it is, now it's all growing in tandem, and I'm getting there. Stay tuned for more progress on this one. Often while I'm knitting, I'm sure you do the same, I'm keyed into YouTube watching some video. I love to watch vintage movies. I'm very excited that there's going to be a series at New York's Film Forum of movies set in the Art Deco period. There's a whole lineup, months, from, I think it's from September, early September, and through till January. And a couple of people I know are going to be speaking, introducing some of the films, so I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe I can give you a list of the films at some point. Let's wait on that. I mean, as I start to watch them, I'll let you know if I have some favorites. I did already watch an old film called 100 Men and a Girl. Adorable, adorable, with Deanna Durbin. If you remember her, she sang opera, but she also was a darling little actress. Anyway, recently I stumbled upon a YouTube video that is a little more science oriented, but I love things that explain how stuff is made. And this is one of those. They're making something that knitters use sometimes, buttons. And they show how they stamp them out and how they tumble them and the materials. So I think that you'll find it interesting. I will put a link in the show notes. Take a look at that and tell me what you think. And I guess, it'd be good to hear people's comments on where they like to source their buttons. If you have some favorite button vendors, or specifically vintage buttons, if you know of places to get them, people would be interested to know that. We as knitters are often washing things by hand, especially wool. I used to not have occasion to do that, but since I'm in the habit now with my sweaters, I have acquired some other products for hand washing, very special things. So you might remember I showed you a bunch of handkerchiefs, vintage handkerchiefs. I was told that there are products on the market that would help freshen them up. So I had done some soaking of them in these two products. Let me grab them. The first one for whitening is, it's really called Bluing, the product, Mrs. Stewart's. It's a very concentrated blue liquid, kind of this color, maybe even a little darker. You have to be super careful to dilute it a lot, which I tried, a little bit at first, and then I got a little braver. I was able to do it more potent. And then my friend Sabina said to me, well, if you soak the things overnight, it works even better. I mean, I was just adding it into the washing machine, which is what they say on here, but I trust my friend implicitly. So I've been using this when I do my whites in the washing machine. But my husband presented me with some of his undershirts, and he said, I'm going to put these in the recycling bin. We have a fabric recycling, very large bin, like taller than me, in the basement of our building, in the garage. His undershirts had a lot of yellow stain, gross, under the arm, and he didn't want that. So he was going to recycle them, and I said, wait, let me try this product that I have. I had just recently used it on an old nightgown of mine, cotton. It's called Retro Clean. I use this on the handkerchiefs as well. So Retro Clean. safely brings age-stained textiles back to life. Well, even though this wasn't stained from aging, you know, I knew it was perspiration and whatever, deodorant. Sorry to be so graphic. I decided to put this stuff in a basin, mix it around, hot water, and they say it works really best if you're able to keep the water hot, so they suggest keeping it outside in the sunlight. Well, I don't have a backyard to do that. I'm on the 9th floor of an apartment building in Manhattan, but I do have a terrace. And late in the day, the terrace gets the setting sun, and that sun in the summer is pretty darn strong. So I left this basin out on the terrace for a couple of days, and this is the underarm. This area was all yellow, and it's almost as white as the rest of the shirt now. So I salvaged 3 undershirts from going into, who knows, compost, or, you know, I don't know what they do with the things when they're not wearable. I think they shred them and they put them as stuffing into pillows and mattresses. I don't know. I mean, they have like a whole process that they do. It depends on the item. A leather boot they do something different with than cotton undershirts. Anyway, I will put links in the show notes for both of these products so that you too can whiten your whites and remove stain or yellowing. Okay, that's my public service announcement for the week. And then last but not least, as I've been doing in more recent episodes, let me show you some things in and around New York that prompted me to photograph them. So it'll just be like a little random walk of some street scenes and architecture and people in my city. I hope you're enjoying your last days of summer. The heat's not letting up, so you might be like me, still knitting summer sweaters. There's still time to wear them, so why not knit them? Ciao for now, everyone. Take care. So it's not every day that I meet people on the subway who are knitting, but I just met this lovely man. What is his name? Dan. Now the world will know. And he's got these really interesting models. Look at the sleeve. He's doing high work up the sleeve, so it's like very three-dimensional.
I saw he put his sweater in the bag. Can we see the sweater?
How fabulous is that?
Well, if you want to, this was the second one I did. I did
Okay, come. He's going to show us on his phone. This other one. Take a picture of his phone. And it's wool?
yeah, that's, I couldn't get the superwash, which I like a lot.
Oh, look.
So I did this on the bias, and I didn't expect to
Beautiful.
get those.
Wow.
I didn't intend to get those. I thought it would be
Like that
flat, but then I
ruching.
got the.
I'll take a
waves,
sweater like that.
It turned out well.
Like ruching in this one.
Yeah, it's
So
really-
interesting.
It was measuring
not
as
doing
it
this one?
came. No, this is straight, so it's not on the bias. But they'll come up to, they'll come up towards the center. This should have been another.
these magnificent faux art buildings. Let me show you an apartment building in Manhattan called the Dorilton. You really need to see this place up close to appreciate it all. So exquisite.